Alright guys, so we've already learned about slope-intercept form and standard form. So those are two ways to write lines. Point-slope form is the third way. So when you have a point that passes through and the slope is m, we can write the equation. It's y minus y1 or y2 or whatever equals m times x minus x1. Okay, so let me show you how that works. So you always put y minus your y value, which is 1. And then let me change colors. So the slope is 2. So you put a 2. And then you do, in parentheses, x minus your x value. The reason this works is because this is basically the slope formula. If you divide it by x minus x1, you divide by x minus x1, you get y minus y over x minus x, which is the slope formula. So that's why this works. You might have your teachers explain that a little bit more. But okay, point-slope form, beautiful. Now you use distributive properties. So I'm going to do y minus 1 equals 2 times x is 2x, 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Then you add 1, and you add 1. And I get y equals 2x minus 7. Okay, then you can graph it. Okay, same thing here. Y minus, you take your y value, equals the slope, and then x minus your x value, which is 2. So you distribute the half to both of those, so I get y minus 4 equals 1/2 x, and then half of negative 2 is negative 1. I add 4, and I add 4, and y equals 1/2 x, and that's a positive 3. Because negative 1 plus 4 is 3. Then you can graph it. Alright, here we got y minus your y value equals x minus your x value, which is negative 6. Okay, cool. Now I simplify it. Y minus 0 is just y. 2/3 times x is 2/3 x, and 2/3 times, okay, minus a negative is actually a positive. And let's practice multiplying fractions. So 2/3 times 6, you put it over 1, and then you multiply across. So 2 times 6 is 12, 3 times 1 is 3, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 2/3 times 6 is a positive 4. Cool. And then the last one, we do y minus your y value, which is negative 1, equals the slope times x minus negative 8. Okay, cool. Gotta do some simplifying. So this would become plus negative 3/4 times x is negative 3/4 x, and negative 3/4 times, this is actually a positive 8. Once again, let's do it over here. So negative 3/4 times 8 over 1. Negative 3 times 8 is negative 24 over 4, which is negative 6. So you put a minus 6, then I take away 1, and I take away 1. This is great algebra practice. You get negative 6 and negative 1 is negative 7. So that's what we get. Now, write the linear equation in slope-intercept form. Fancy. So the first thing we need is the slope. It's a little bit different than the other one. So you're going to do y2 minus y1, so negative 1 minus 7, and then x2 minus x1, so 1 minus negative 3. This is negative 8 over 4, and negative 8 divided by 4 is a negative 2. Okay, cool. So now I know my slope. Then I can use any point. It doesn't matter. Actually, I think I'd rather use the ones because ones are easier to deal with. So I'm going to do y minus my y value, which was negative 1. Put the slope, and then x minus your x value, which is 1. Simplify it up. this becomes adding. So you would do y plus 1 equals, you do distributive property. I know this is so exciting. Negative 2 times a negative 1 is a positive 2. And then you subtract 1 on both sides. And you get y equals negative 2x. 2 minus 1 is just 1. Cool. 6. This video is going to get long. It's already 5 minutes. Oh well. Okay, maybe we'll make this video fast forwardable, but you first need to find the slope. So the slope is negative 4 minus negative 7 and 3 minus negative 6. Boom, 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 boom. Negative 4 plus 7 is actually 3, and 3 plus 6 is 9, and you can reduce that to 1/3. So I'm going to do y minus, which one's easier? I think this one's easier. So the y value is negative 4, 1/3 x minus your x value, which is 3. Cool. And then you simplify. This is a positive, and you distribute this over here, so you get y plus 4 equals 1/3 x, 1/3 of negative 3. If you do it over here, you get negative 3 divided by 3, which is negative 1, minus 4, and 4, and y equals 1/3 x minus 5. Okay. 7 and 8. I'm going to just skip those because I don't want to make this video too long. And so write the equation of the line that is parallel and passes through the point. Okay, so we learned that parallel means same slope, right? And so the slope of this line is 2. So that means the slope of my new line is going to be 2. So I'm going to do, then I got this point here. So I'm going to do y minus negative 1 equals 2 times x minus negative 4. Okay, so we're using point slope form. Minus a negative becomes adding, minus a negative becomes adding, and then we're going to distribute the 2. So I get y plus 1 equals 2x plus 8, and then I minus 1 and I minus 1, and y equals 2x plus 7. Okay, we're almost done. And this video I know is pretty long. Sorry guys, and I don't even have any music playing. Okay, parallel means same slope. But this equation, I don't know the slope because it's not in slope-intercept form. So what level challenge do you think this question is? Definitely a level 4. So you should probably highlight this one. You're going to minus x and minus x. You get negative 3y equals negative x plus 9. Then you divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. So I get y equals a negative divided by a negative is a positive 1/3 x, and 9 divided by a negative 3 is negative 3. Okay, all that to show me that 1/3 is the slope. Okay, cool. So then I'm going to set up my equation y minus negative 1 equals 1/3 of x minus my x value, which is 3. Then we got to simplify it. So a minus and negative is actually adding, and 1/3 we multiply it. So I'm going to do it kind of over here because I was sloppy with it. So y plus 1 equals 1/3 x, and 1/3 times a negative 3 is a negative 1. Then you take away 1 and you take away 1, you get y equals 1/3 x minus 2. I know that was kind of complicated and long. Number 11, let's save that for class. If you want to try that one on your own, for sure, be my guest. And last, look, it's almost 10 minutes. Okay, Number 12, write the equation in a line that is perpendicular. So perpendicular means the negative reciprocals. So this equation, cool, I know the slope. So 3/4 switches to be negative 4/3. And then we got this point. Okay, so I'm going to do y minus a negative 3 equals negative 4/3. And then x minus 3. Okay, because that is point slope form. And then this becomes adding. The negative 4/3 distributes, we get y plus 3. I think I'm all up in the camera. Equals negative 4/3x, and then negative 4/3 times negative 3. Let's do it over here. Just a negative times a negative is a positive. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I'm going to put a plus 4, and then I'm going to minus 3 and minus 3, and I get y equals negative 4/3. And 4 minus 3 is a 1. Boom shakalaka. Okay, I know this one was pretty tough, but just be patient, and we'll process the notes in class and go over some more examples. Bye. Have a good one.